Okay. Can you read those words? I can't make them any bigger. They'd go off the screen. The U Drive Rent-A-Truck company plans to spend $14 million on 260 new vehicles. Each commercial van will cost $45,000. Each small truck $70,000. Each large truck $60,000. Past experience shows that they need twice as many vans as small trucks. How many of each type of vehicle can they buy? All right. So basically, the deal is we're going to set up these equations and then just type them into our calculator. So that's nice. We won't have to solve them by hand. It's just all about setting them up. That's what this whole section is about just setting them up. So here we go. Notice there's three things: vans, small trucks, large trucks. Why don't we use V, S, and L? I mean, you could use X, Y, and Z, but I think it's nice to use meaningful letters. I think you'll be able to track with everything better. So I'm going to use V, S, and L. Vans, small trucks, large trucks. Okay, here we go. 14 million on 260 new vehicles. That's an equation, do you realize? How so? 14 million, 260 vehicles. What do I write? Let's start with the 260 vehicles. Doesn't that mean however many vans plus however many small trucks plus however many large trucks must be... Oh, yeah, that alone is an equation, isn't it? 260. I'm getting confused. Just that's an equation. No, not using the 14 million, huh? Just that's total number of vehicles, 260. Just add up vans plus small trucks plus large trucks equals 260. Does that make sense so far? And now, what are we going to do with the 14 million thing? Each van is $45,000. So isn't it true that you would take 45,000 times however many vans? The company's deciding how many vans to buy, how many small trucks to buy, and how many large trucks to buy. This is like a big corporate decision. They're deciding how many vans to buy, how many small trucks, how many large trucks. Well, every van is $45,000. So however many vans they buy times 40, V is how many vans you're going to buy. So V is how many vans times 45,000 each. And the small trucks are 70,000 each. So 70,000 times S. And the large trucks are 60,000. That's 60? Yeah. It's funny that they're cheaper. 60,000 times that adds up to be $14 million in total costs. So far, so good? Let me rewrite that top equation. Let's make it bigger. Vans plus small trucks plus large trucks is 260. So we've got two equations. Generally, you're going to have the same number of equations that you have letters. If you want one unique solution, if you want your thing to come out and have only one answer, then the same number of equations as letters. So we have 3 letters. We're expecting 3 equations. So we need one more equation, don't we? What's our other equation? Do you see it? What else did they say? Past experience shows twice as many vans as small trucks. Twice as many vans as small trucks.
Good question.
I think so too. Twice as many vans as small trucks. What are we going to do with that? Twice as many vans as small trucks. Twice as many vans is small trucks. Wrong. I don't know if that's what you were saying, but what I just wrote is wrong. It sure looks like that's right, though. Let me help you with that. This is super tricky here. Doesn't it look like that's what it's saying? Right? Is that what it's saying? Twice as many vans is the small trucks. Let me ask you this. When you're comparing two things and trying to write an equal statement between them, you're trying to bring equality. So if I say, hey, this thing's twice as big as this lower thing, and I want to make them equal. So who do I got to double? The big guy or the little guy? You got to double the little guy if you want to make them equal. Who's the little guy? Twice as many vans as small trucks. Who's the little guy? Trucks. So who needs to be doubled? The small trucks needs to be doubled. If you want to make these things equal, the V already is twice as big. That's what they're saying. It's tricky though, huh? If you just read it and you don't think careful and you just kind of write what comes natural, you'll probably get it wrong. You got to think carefully. Just think about bringing equality. When they make a statement like that and you're trying to write an equation, bring equality, you got to bring the small guy up. So they're saying there's twice as many vans. There already is more vans. So if you want to make them equal, you got to double the number of small trucks, don't you? That's what's true. 2 times the number of small trucks will equal the van number, which is already bigger, already twice as big. There's our equation. Well, yeah, that's our equation. And then let's just jump this over. So it's V minus 2S is 0. So V minus 2S, we don't have any L at all, is 0. We put a 0 for L if you want. 0L, whatever. Or just leave it off. Does that make sense? There's our third equation. V minus 2S plus 0L equals 0. Did you guys track with how I came up with that? So that third one was tricky, wasn't it? Is that okay? So watch out for that doubling, tripling. They'll give you that a lot. All right, now let's put it in our calculator. This is 1, 1, 1. So 1, 1, 1, 260. And then the big numbers, 45,000. I should have given more room, huh? So let me do that. 45,000, 70,000, 60,000, and then 14 million. Those are 1, 1, 1, 260, and 1, negative 2, 0, 0. There's what you put into your calculator, right? Everybody tracking with me on that? Put that in. Let's do the RREF. Well, in the interest of time, can I just go dot, dot, dot? I better get moving. I want to set some more. There's 8 of these. I want to set some more up with you. We good there? Everybody see how we got to that? Questions I can answer? Then you just do the RREF and get your answer. Did somebody get it? What did it come out to be? Let me do it real quick. It's a 3 by 4. Careful on the zeros. I'm getting 160, 80, and 20 for vans, small trucks, large trucks. Did you guys get that? 160, is that 80? Yeah, I'm trying to, yeah, 80 and 20. Good? All right, better move on. Just put it in your calculator. We got almost 15 minutes. Let's do as much as we can. Alex took clothes to the cleaners 3 times last month. First, he brought 2 shirts and 1 pair of slacks and paid $8.47. All right. So we have, they're both S's, so I'm going to call it shirts and pants. Pair of slacks. Shirts and pair of slacks. So 2 shirts plus 1 pair of slacks came out to be $8.47. Then 5 shirts and 4 slacks. 5 shirts, 4 pair of slacks. And 1 sports coat. Whoops, I didn't see that. Plus 1 coat. Came out $33.90. And finally, 3 shirts, 2 coats, and paid $22.45. So there we go. If you want to move that top one over, that helps you. So there it is. That one okay? Put that into your calculator. 2 1s. There's a 0 here and a 0 here, right? 0, 847. 5, 4, 1. 33.93, 0, 2. 22.45. Do the RREF, and away you go. That was a little more straight ahead, right? That one good? Just 3 equations. I'll move on. Set up as many of these as we can. Questions on that one? This will be on. Basketball team sells tickets that cost $10, $20, or for the VIP, $30. Team has sold 31, 34, 61 more, blah, 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 blah. All right. So why don't we use, let's use X, Y, and Z, I guess, huh? X, Y, and Z for the three different kinds of tickets. I don't see any other useful names. X, Y, and Z for the cheapest, the medium, and the most expensive tickets. Let me let you go. So 3 letters, we're expecting 3 equations, aren't we? So let me give you a minute. See if you can write 3 equations. Okay, 31, 34 total tickets. X plus Y plus Z, 31, 34. Good? That's just total tickets. That has nothing to do with the money or the cost of them. That's just total tickets, right? Just X plus Y plus Z. Just like adding up the different vehicles for 260 vehicles in the first problem. Next, we go into the money. Or you can do this one. Whichever. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. 161, well, that's a hard one. Let me go to the total sales. Total sales, 58,810. Well, that's the money, right? 10x, 20y, 30z is 58,810. And then I got to do that 161 thing in a minute. But everybody good with that, sex? So it's just like the van problem. Remember we just added up the van, small trucks, large trucks, total vehicles. Then we did the money next to each of them, and then we have the special equation. See how it's pretty much standard that way? You have just add them up, and then the money, and then a special one. It's pretty much how these go. So we have the add them up, the money, right? Those all have money. $10, $20, $30, $58,000. Money, 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 money. And now, the last one is always the tricky one. 161 more $20 tickets than $10 tickets. Now, remember what I said about who's bigger, who's smaller? Who needs you bring up the small guy, don't you? So see if you can write an equation. We're using X and Y. X is the $10. Remember, X is the 10. So this is X, this is Y. Who's bigger? Who's bigger, are they saying? Y. They're saying 161 more $20. Y is bigger. So if you're going to write an equation, if you're going to bring equality, who do you got to add to? The little guy. Get the idea in those tricky equations? You've got to add to the little guy. So this is saying y is x plus 161, huh? Does that make sense? Because y already is bigger. So if you want to make them equal, you got to add to the small guy, don't you? Got to add to x. That's logical? That making sense? That good? So then how do we turn that into an equation? Well, just jump the x over here. Be negative x plus y, right? There's y there. Just jump the x on the other side. Negative x plus y is 161. See what I did? I got negative x plus y is 161 when I jump the x to the end. You want the x's and the y's, the letters on the left, the numbers on the right, don't we? For these equations. Letters on the left, numbers on the right. So I just jumped the x to the other side. It became negative x plus y is 161. Is that okay? Questions I can answer on that? Is that good? And then you would just put that into your calculator. So we put it in. There's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 31, 34, and 10, 20, 30, 58,810, and negative 1, 1, 0 here, huh? 0, 161. And do the R, R, E, F. Get your answers. Questions? All right, so Fran receives $113 per year in simple interest from investing $1,300. Part is invested at 7%, part at 8%, part at 9%. There's $800 more invested at 9 than at 8. Find the amount invested at 9. Okay, same kind of thing. So here we go. So she's got parts at 7%, call that X. Parts at 8, parts at 9. X, Y, Z. That's what we're at, is how much is it X, Y, and Z. There's part at 7, part at 8, part at 9. X, Y, Z. See how I always identify the variables first? Notice I always right away. Small trucks, large trucks, vans, or whatever. Or, what I don't know. The crucial, what we're trying to figure out. How do you know what you're trying to figure out? Well, look what they're asking me for. How much at 9%? They're going to ask you for the kind of thing that you're looking for. We're looking for how much invested at each of the rates. right? So I do that first. Okay, 3 letters, 3 equations. It's going to be the same kind of thing. She receives, yeah, it's a little more tricky than normal. 1,300 is, it's tricky on this one. It's all money. You know how normally I say there's the one without money and then there's the money? Well, everything's money in this one. The 1,300 is the amount she's investing. That's not interest. That's just investing. So you're going to have 1, so that's just x plus y plus z is 1,300. That's your equation that I usually call no money. Right? That's just however much you put in the first count plus second count plus third count, 1,300 total. That's all that is. That's not interest. That's not anything she earned. That's just what she put in. You with me? That's like buying tickets or something. The $10 ticket, 20. That's just total tickets. That's just total investment. Right? Now, next, you're going to write the money one, the interest. The earnings, what she earns in interest. Well, how do you do that? That's where the percentages come in. 0.07x plus 0.08 y. She gets 8% on the y. She gets 9% on the z. And it's $113 is what she earns. Do you see how I did that one? That was the interest she earns. She receives 113 in interest from those percentages. Is that good? These will take practice. I had to go over and over and over these kind of things, so I was learning to do word problems. How about now? We need a third one. You can see where the third one is. It's right here at the back, right? About the 800. Try to write that one. That's the tricky one. That's always the tricky one. The big guy, little guy. Got to bring up the little guy to bring equality. You got to add to the little guy to bring equality, huh? So who's the little guy there? It's 800 more at 9%. So there's Z is the 9%. That's Z. And the 8%, that's Y, isn't it? So who's bigger, Z or Y? 800 more for Z. So Z's bigger. So who am I going to add to? The Y. Y plus 800. Is that making sense? If you want to bring equality, you got to add to the little guy, don't you? Everybody see that? So how do I finish? Grab that Y, move it over. Negative Y plus Z is 800. Negative Y plus Z is 800. That means 0 over there. Put that in your calculator and away you go. Questions on that one? We've got 4 more. See if I can do a couple of them at least. We good? No questions? All right, that's a lot of words. Animal breeder. Can buy 4 types of food for Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs. Each case of brand A, fiber, protein, fat. B, fiber, protein, fat. C, fiber, protein, fat. D, fiber, protein, fat. How many cases of each brand should the breeder mix together between food that provides fiber, protein, fat? Let X represent A, Y, B, Z, C, W, D. 4 ways. There are 4. Oh, yeah, it's a tricky one. Okay, here we go. So, notice X is how much A, Y is how much B, Z is how much a brand C, and W is how much a brand D. That's what they told us. Okay, that's what they're saying down here. All right, here we go. Now, my equations on this one are balancing out the amount of fiber, protein, and fat. I'm going to have a fiber equation first off. Fiber. What does it say about fiber? Well, brand A is 35 units of fiber. So 35A. Or X. You can use A or X or whatever you want. I'm just going to use A. Plus 140 for B. B is 140. 140B. Plus 200. C is 245 for fiber. Plus D. D is 420 for fiber. Equals how much fiber do these animals need? These pigs. 4550 fiber. They need to get 4550 fiber See that right there? Mixed together to obtain 450 fiber, 45, 50 fiber. See, that's a fiber equation. Am I confusing you? Do you see how I worked that through as the fiber equation? I took the fiber fact from A, B, C, and D and set it equal to the fiber total. And then you do the same thing now for the next thing. What comes after fiber? Protein. And I go, okay, now I'm going to write a protein equation. And I go 30A, because that's what it says, A protein. B, it says 90 protein. C, it says 150 protein. D, it says 270 protein. And what's the protein total? 2850. That's how much protein they need, the little pigs. And then next, last one, what's after that? Fat. They need some fat, some fat things. Fat, 30 units for every A, 70 units for every B, 120 for every C, and 200. So we're mixing these different kinds of brands of food. And what's how much fat total they need? 2250 fat. There's our equations. Type that into your calculator, RREF. And what you'll get is infinite solutions. And then over here, they'll tell you to let W be 0, W be 1, W to be different things and get different answers. Sorry, I kind of ran out of time. That's all the time I have for that one. So, yeah. So I'll have to stop there. You know, actually, I'll probably go back to my office real quick and I'll finish this problem up. I'll finish the W on that one for you. And we should be good to there on that. So what we get is 1, 0, 0, minus 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 5, 15, 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 10. So we got that. Now what does that mean? Well, again, the first one is X, Y, Z, W, and then these are equals, equals, equals. So that first one says X minus 1W is 0. The second one says 1Y. So Y plus 5W equals 15. The third one says Z minus 1W equals 10. See how I turned those into actual equations? So that first row is X, then Y, then Z, then W. So we get those equations. Now, let me go to a fresh screen here on this. So X minus, so I've got, in fact, let me just write it again. 1, 0, 0, minus 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 5, 15, 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 10. This is X, Y, Z, W, equal sign. So again, it says X minus W is 0. And this row says Y plus 5W is 15. And this row says 1Z, so Z minus 1W is 10. So that's what they're saying. Solve for X, solve for Y, and solve for Z. Grab this, jump it over, grab this, jump it over, grab this, jump it over. So I'll get X is just W, Y is 15 minus 5W, and Z is 10 plus 1W. The signs always switch when it jumps over. So we get to that. So now we have X, Y, Z. Going back to the question, they say, okay, plug in W0 and tell me the answers. That's what they're saying. If W is 0, what are you going to get? So if I make W 0, so for W equals 0, in fact, let me put it over here. So for W equals 0, X is W again, Y is 15 minus 5W, Z is 10. So if I put in 0, 0, 0 for W, X is just going to be 0, Y is just going to be 15 because that'll drop out, and this will drop out, Z will just be 10. So 0, 15, and 10. 0, 15, and 10. That's how I got that. This is the W spot last, and they said W0. Let's do W1. Let's see what we get for that. So next they say, now do W as 1. So if you let W be 1, remember x is just W, y is 15 minus 5. So if x is just W,
This is 1.
x is going to be, so x is 1. If you put in 1 here, 15 minus 5. So y would be 10.
Mm-hmm.
And z is 10 plus 1w, so if you put in 1 for w.
So on that one, you don't do the 5 then? On the 15 minus 5?
So I'm plugging in 1 for w.
Because now when you put equals 15, you don't subtract the 5?
What's 5 times 0?
Oh, you got multiple, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, so I'm multiplying, yeah, 5 times 0 is 0, so you just dropped out 1. That just dropped out, so this is 5 times 1 is 5, 15 minus 5 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. So there we go, 1, 10, and 11. And what was w? 1. So that would be the answer. X is 1, y is 10, z is 11, and w is 1. So that'd be 1, 10, 11, and they already have the w is 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense on that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
How to do that?